Where does the American dollar come from? Yes, right, from Austria, of course. The Mint in Hall in Tyrol was the birthplace of the thaler and the dollar. It pioneered two groundbreaking developments of unique and universal importance that took place at the same time. The worldwide circulation of the thaler, originally called guldina, and the revolutionary introduction of roller press technology to produce machine-made coins. Both inventions had a major impact on the economy of Europe, and both originated from Hall in Tyrol. On this picture you see the first thaler from 1486, and it was the thaler of Archduke Sigismund of Tyrol. And on this thaler you see the coats of arms from different countries and different regions of Austria. From this first thaler of 1486, all today's currencies emerged, beginning in Scandinavia with the Danish and Swedish daler, riksdaler, over England and its crown up to the Russian ruble in 1704. Only in 1787, then the US dollar was born, after the Spanish and Mexican peso and the dollar currencies in the Caribbean and West Africa. The proofing hall, as this room was called in former times, formed the central part of the mint. Here is where the official mint masters put to the proof, examined samples taken during the composition of the coinage alloys, the weight and fineness of the raw silver, and samples of the freshly struck mintage. Also, foreign coins were tested here for fineness and weight. The test results were published in public offices or at fairgrounds so people could find out the actual value of unfamiliar foreign currencies. Here you can see a reproduction of an embossing block around 1500 with a high performance of 600 coins per day. Hammer embossing is the oldest embossing method. Here the raw material is placed on the lower punch, the upper punch is placed on top, and the coin image is minted with a powerful hammer punch. This type of embossing was very time-consuming on the one hand and very staff-intensive on the other due to the high physical strain. In addition, larger coins often required several embossing punches. These had the disadvantage that the material could easily shift between the several punches, and thus a double image was created. And this wonderful money or treasure box of the 16th or 17th century is unfortunately way too heavy to get it out of here and into my car. This is a knee lever press from 1893 with a high performance of 60 coins per minute. This embossing machine was mainly used for gold embossing until the 1970s. Originally, it was driven by steam via transmission, like in this huge Dutch industrial hall in Utrecht. This is a friction press from about 1880 with an embossing pressure of 200 tons maximum and a high performance of 600 coins per day. It was used until the 1970s for embossing means of payment. Due to its high embossing pressure, it's particularly suitable for embossing large coins and medals with high relief. Its handling requires a lot of experience. This is a spindle press from 1893 with a high performance of 3,000 coins per day. It takes some strength to turn the spindle screw with the heavy swinging weights and to lower the upper punch to the blank and lower punch. Swinging lever and weights guarantee precise and fast embossing. The spindle press, developed in the 16th century, was not introduced until 1748 in Hall under Empress Maria Theresa and was used until the closure in 1809. Why was the machine used so many years later? Now, thanks to a new coinage system that reduced the silver content of the thaler, Maria Theresa was able to start the production of thaler again. In 1749, only 80,000 thalers left the Hall Mint, but production rose to 200,000 units just 2 years later. Hall brought a total of around 17 million Maria Theresa thalers onto the market. The thaler was by far the most important export item when it came to coins. Its distribution area covered eastern North Africa, central Sudan, the Nile countries, Somalia, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Mozambique. Under Maria Theresa, the coins got an edge minting for the first time. This prevented resourceful fraudsters from trimming the silver and gold coins. After 166 years of inactivity, Hall Mint, the world's oldest thaler mint, started operating again in 1975. Thus, Hall continued its centuries-old tradition and, at the same time, took the first step to make the historic mint and its important role in Europe accessible to the public. The National Mint Office in Vienna provided the necessary minting machines, and on August the 27th, 1975, the Hall Mint was able to celebrate its resumption of a centuries-old tradition. The first modern coin struck in Hall was a 100 shilling piece to celebrate the 12th Winter Olympics in Innsbruck. Ever since, there has been a regular output of medals commemorative of a variety of Tyrolean events. On the occasion of the European Championship of Football 2008 and the 500th anniversary of the first European Emperor Maximilian I, the Hall Mint, in cooperation with the Austrian Mint, has produced the largest silver thaler in the world with 2008 decagram as well as 2008 smaller pieces of the European thaler in a limited edition. This so-called Europe thaler shows on the front a reproduction of the Emperor's thaler of 1508. The back refers to the European Championship of Football 2008 and the historical development of Europe. The newly designed verso of the coin shows the Mint Tower of Hall Mint and 4 important people in the history of Europe: Martin Luther, Antonio Vivaldi, James Watt, and Bertha von Suttner, all surrounded by stars. Martin Luther symbolizes the transitions from the Middle Ages to the modern period with his translation of the Bible in the 16th century. The work of Antonio Vivaldi presents an example of the importance of European cultural life. The red-haired priest from Vienna is among the greatest composers of the 17th century. Enduring changes resulted in the industrialization of Europe, which took place in the age of the Enlightenment as a result of great technical innovations. Of particular importance among these inventions was the construction of the first steam engine in the 18th century by James Watt. Among the great changes in Europe were also the constant attempts to civilize the numerous wars on the continent and to replace them with a pacified policy. Although this objective was still a long way from being achieved, the Peace Prize winner Bertha von Suttner from Austria is among the first exponents of this development in the 19th century. And at last, stars, symbol of European unity, surround the tower and symbolize the transition into the European future of the 21st century. Through action and interaction with the main object itself, the presentation casket should set a sense as a storage and presentation object through the contrast of art and nature, made from the wood from the Hasse castle that is more than 500 years old. The numismatic data, size 36 centimeters, weight 20.08 kilogram, material fine silver 999, and issue 5 units. The wall thickness is 9 feet and 3 inches, and the diameter of the tower is 28 feet and 9 inches. Over the centuries, the masonry at the foot of the tower became so dense that construction workers had to use the diamond wire saw to cut out the new access to the Mint Tower. After 181 stairs, you reach the top level of the tower, the so-called lantern, which offers an impressive view of Hall and the surrounding area. In the past, it served as a lookout post. From this vantage point, all sorts of dangers, such as fires, could be spotted early on. But the lookout post was also a good spot from which to keep an eye on both the fortress itself and the coin mint. At approximately 151 feet above the ground, the sphere atop the steeple forms its apex. During renovations, a lead box containing documents, coins, and letters of prayer, all dating back to previous centuries, were found there. They had been placed there as testimony to events of daily life to be read by generations to come. They also commemorated historically important events such as the installation of the coin mint in the fortress in 1567. The lead box, with all its contents, is now back inside the steeple sphere. My souvenir, of course, is the first dollar of the world, the first thaler from 1486 with Archduke Sigismund on it in 999 fine silver. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and please leave a comment what you liked best. Until we meet again, bye, says John from Switzerland.